Welcome, everyone, to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We appreciate you joining here on the stream with us. We are talking to Oskar Blues this week. We have Juice Drapeau. We have Aaron Baker. Juice is the head brewer for Oskar Blues. Aaron Baker, senior marketing manager. Is that correct, Aaron?
That is correct, yep.
We're going to talk beer. We're going to drink some Crispy Boys. We're going to do I'm currently drinking an Oskar's lager. So labels out. Labels out, man. There you go.
Weird. So am I.
See? It's the
what
beer
are
of
the
choice
odds
for refreshment. The beer of choice. So, guys, how are you today?
Doing well.
Good.
Out here in Colorado, this is a rainy part of the year for us. So we've had a lot of snow, a lot of rain through April and May, and starting to look like spring's officially coming around the corner. So.
Getting there, huh? What kind of temperatures do you guys have out there right now?
Right now it's probably about 55 degrees at my house.
Okay.
It was 60s today. Today at the Lions Brewery. So.
Okay, we've been hitting right around 80 here, but that's mild for us this time of year. We've 70s to 80. We were dipping into the 50s at night.
Yeah,
I'm cool with it. Holding on to this.
I like this a lot.
Just keeping it up.
It's an actual springtime.
Yes,
it's
it
nice.
is. It's nice to have an actual spring.
You didn't mention that Brian Crass is with us as well.
I didn't. You know what? I just told Brian to,
right.
and then I forget. I'm so lame.
Completely ignored.
I'm super lame. Brian Crass here. Brian is from Rock Solid Brewing in Ball Ground, Georgia. How long you guys been up there?
We opened in December, so we are brand new. New kids on the block, man.
Some tasty beers. We've enjoyed it. What was the lime one called? I forget the names.
No limes required.
No limes required. And the liminess comes from Motueka hops, correct?
Motueka, yeah.
Okay. Some tasty beers here. Tasty beers. A little IPA with, is it HB 472?
That's the one.
Yeah. Juice, have you done anything with that one yet with 472?
I have not, but we've done a lot of HBC variations and trials and stuff like that. Way before they get a chance to even garner a name. So there's an ever long list of those types of hops, but we do our best to incorporate them in our small scale production.
They're fun. I always like seeing what's coming up there, and we did a live stream last Friday with Stan Hieronymus, and Stan was talking about some of the hops, and I forget which ones, but he gave his 3 Rookie of the Year contenders on what he thought were the solid hops there. So
Talus, I believe, is one of them.
I don't remember.
I think it was
I don't
Talus.
recall. Yeah,
not Talon, but Talus.
Talon. But with that said, Facebook folks, all of you watching the stream, if you have any questions for us or for Oskar Blues, feel free to put them in the chat there, and we'll get back to you when we take our next break. But right now, we're going to get to recording our show.
Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Brian Hewitt.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're broadcasting from the Beer Guys Radio Studios in Marietta, Georgia. This week, we're talking with Oskar Blues Brewery. I am Tim Dennis, and with me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Brian Hewitt.
Hey, Tim. So joining us today, we have Juice Drapeau, the head brewer of Oskar Blues, and Aaron Baker, their senior marketing manager. And we also have with us in studio Brian Crass of Rock Solid, founder, head brewer,
head brewer,
bottle cleaner,
all
floor sweeper, everything.
All the above.
So we're going to talk about smash beers, big barrel aged beers, the latest releases, and death by various delicious things. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. Yeah, the Death by series, that's a fun one, man. We enjoy that. All the Death by coconut.
All those delicious fatalities. I'm on board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Later in the show, one of our favorite things to do is to give terrible ideas for beers and beer names. So we will make sure to share some of our brilliance with you guys today on the show. So.
That'll be unique because we all only have good ideas. It's
all good ideas, man. That's the way you got to do it.
And Juice only picks good names. So
see, there you go. I mean, with a name like Juice,
it's gotta be good.
It's gonna be solid. It's gonna be solid stuff there.
Usually I think of a name and then I make it a lot more PC and then it works. So
okay, that's
that's the starting point, but perfect.
When you say a name and everybody just kind of silent, they're like, okay, can we get some more ideas here?
Tough crowd, like
right?
Tough crowd.
Tough, no respect, man, no respect. Well, guys, as we are dipping into the Oskar's Lager here. And we love beers like this now, man. These drinking beers, drinkable beers. We're big fans. So tell us a little bit about Oskar's Lager here.
So basically, for the last few years, we've been talking about developing a really, really, low carb, low calorie lager that was still packed with plenty of flavor. Still had a nice mouthfeel, which is really difficult to do when you're controlling the type of carb and alcohol input in beer. So what we did is we did a lot of trials. We incorporated a lot of different some adjuncts, some rice, and we decided we come up with an all Pilsner malt with a little bit of dextrose and a little bit of rice syrup. It's easier to handle in the brew house, and with the combination of various enzymes, it gets us down to a very, very, very dry, very crisp beer that we're able to have in our legal ramifications of the calories and carbonation and carbohydrates as well.
Good stuff. I'm down for that. We went local brewery here, Halfway Crooks. Their lager hats have been popular across the country. They are doing Czech beer days right now. And we went down. They've got a really nice beer garden, really big beer garden. And we went down, sat in the beer garden. I think it was mid-70s and a little breeze.
Oh, it's beautiful. Little tree cover as well. So no real strong direct sun either. Very nice.
But they had a 3.9% Czech pills on that you could just set in the beer garden and crush all day.
Oh,
so one of those. That was good stuff, man. That's always a good time.
The big foamy pours too. Oh, delightful.
Yeah.
Juice, I was going to say, I really wish that we had this beer because a few years back we were a sponsor of NASCAR, and we were the first craft brewery in NASCAR, and I would have to go over to Charlotte Motor Speedway from our brewery in Brevard and spend like 5 days pouring beer out there for the thirsty NASCAR fans. And obviously Dale's Pale Ale was what we were leading with the most, and you could see because of Dale Earnhardt and Junior, like they wanted to love the beer so much, but that crowd, anything with any sort of flavor, they really have a hard time with. So I really wish that we had this beer for them because it's still got a lot of flavor for what it is, but it's definitely that easy drinking NASCAR beer.
That's what I was going to say. I appreciate the NASCAR sponsorship, but that was kind of an odd matchup there, for the beer and those folks there. Like you said, they wanted to love it. They wanted to love Dale's, but maybe just a little too punchy for your average NASCAR fan.
Yeah, I mean, it was still fun, and honestly, like I was pleasantly surprised by. We did it for I think 4 or 5 years in a row, and we would set up in the same spot in the fan zone outside the stadium every or the racetrack, I should say, every year. And we would have people come back and be like, I don't drink any craft beer, but I love the, Pinner or Mama's Little Yellow Pills or one of the ones we were bringing. And they would come back for it every year. So we did win some people over.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, that's one at a time, man. One at a time.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Brian, you said at your brewery there at Rock Solid, it's a drinking beer kind of place, right?
Oh yeah, we're up in North Georgia, a little outside of the beaten path.
Yep.
And they love the Crispy Boys.
Bring the Crispy Boys, man. Yep. I can't argue with that.
Are there a lot of racetracks up?
I think Gainesville might have one.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of race fans there, I would bet.
Probably.
Oh yeah. So that's the heart of it right there.
Indeed,
for sure.
Indeed. Well, Tim, I think it's time for us to get into the beers of the week.
Now it's time for our beers of the week. Brought to you by The Nest. craft beer and barbecue in downtown Kennesaw, Georgia. TheNestKennesaw.com.
Well, Brian, this is going to surprise you, but we've got a pretty nice list of beers to get into this week.
Finally.
Yes. And I want to thank the Nest for sponsoring this segment. Brian, two of our favorite people are getting together this month. It is Ironmonger month at the Nest.
Oh, how about that?
They're going to be doing a tap takeover there, 4 to 5 taps. And coming later in the month, they'll have Perfect Pull, which is a collaboration between Ironmonger and Apotheos Roastery, which is part of the Nest family of businesses there. And that is a 6.7% Mexican chocolate coffee stout. I'm told it's pretty coffee forward, Brian.
I'm on board. Let me have
What do you think about that? But
I love the idea.
Today in studio, as we mentioned, we're drinking Oskar's Lager. We also have Thick Haze Northeast IPA on deck, Guava Rodeo, which is a guava sour with tangerines, and Smash Stash IPA. Juice, it's been a minute since I've seen a Smash beer. Those were all the rage a few years back.
Yeah, and I run the original Lions location, and throughout that facility, we do all the R&D brewing. What we do is we like to feature a single hop, and that really allows us to dig deep into what that particular hop does, whether it's used heavily in a Whirlpool edition or how many pounds per barrel does the dry hop really work for that particular hop. So we started doing these smash beers and developed a series that was available in our tap rooms, and kind of got a lot of attention just through tap room, and then allowed us to learn what some of these hops and how they kind of carry themselves through in these beers.
Fun stuff, man. I love it.
I think they're still popular with home brewers because it's a great way to experiment.
Good way to
like
experiment
he was saying.
Yeah, find out what you got. And of course, there's some rock solid beer in the house. It's rock solid.
Indeed.
And I see one I'm excited, Coconut Cajones.
Coconut Cajones.
That may be our nightcap beer, Brian. We may have to
that's
crack that one.
That's
for the
one you don't want to
nightcap.
start with.
Right. But lots of good beer here today. And Brian, why don't you tell us what's happening in the news?
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines.
Okay, we've got scandals in the beer news. Brewbound reports that a, quote, tidal wave of sexual harassment allegations have hit the brewing industry this past week. It all started with Brienne Allen's Instagram account called Rat Magnet, where she began sharing stories of people from across the industry that are experiencing workplace discrimination or have experienced it, and sexual harassment. The accounts grew quickly, and I don't have an exact number of how many they're up to, but it's over 1,000 or around 1,000 at this point. Amongst those named in the accounts so far are Sean Hill of Hill Farmstead Brewery, the founder of Tired Hands Brewing Company, Modern Times Brewery, and Connecticut Valley Brewing. The brewery responses to the accusations have been varied. Sean Hill says in a statement that he released that the accusations are, quote, unsettling and that they're untrue. The founder of Tired Hands has stepped down, and Modern Times fired one of their members of their staff and is planning on training the rest of the staff. So I
believe
big.
I saw recently that Modern Times CEO resigned.
Did he?
So I think that is the latest update. And boy, I hope I'm not wrong on that, because that would be a terrible thing to say and misquote. But
somebody I know was outright fired, and I don't think it was the CEO. I think it was somebody in marketing, perhaps. I'm not trying to avoid names because these are, of course, all allegations. I don't know if they're true. Based upon the sheer number of them, some of them have got to be true.
Sure.
So that's
you don't
all
see
I'm
that
saying.
kind of. I think we all know that this stuff exists out there.
Exactly.
And hopefully this can bring some light to where we can address it going forward.
Agreed.
Was that all we got time for, Nate? Is that it? All right. Well, you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We do have to take a break, but we'll be back very soon with more from Oskar Blues. There we go.
I was going to try to run in there with Het Anchor coming back to the U.S. with Good and Careless and Cuvée de Weiser Van der Kaiser.
A little bit of Blau there, right?
That I enjoy so much. Looking
good.
forward to that. I didn't even realize they were gone. I have noticed that it's harder to find their stuff in the stores, but I just assumed it was ebb and flow of the market. So,
Stephen Pete, thanks for stopping by. Stephen Pete is the owner of Kettle Rock Brewing, Peachtree Corners. Just opened this weekend. Brian, you got to go up and visit, right?
It's a nice, it's a great little, got a great little living room feel in there. Fireplace, open on both
I saw
sides.
the pictures. It was nice.
Yeah,
very good. Well,
stuff.
congrats, Stephen. Nice to see you join the Georgia beer scene there. Juice, I'm absolutely going to hate to be a pest to you, but your audio is clipping a good bit. We're losing about a third of what you say there. I don't know how's your internet connection?
It is not great since we pivoted to the phone.
I got you.
The hard line of the computer, and that was another different issue. So
okay, yeah, technical issues everywhere we go from there.
Tough, man. So does your phone connect directly to Wi-Fi, or is it all just over the air signal?
It is connected to Wi-Fi currently.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have a wired headset that you can use with the phone? We're just being a pest to you today, aren't we?
No. Yeah. I can probably. Can you give me a second? I could probably dig one.
Sure
up.
thing, man.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll sit here and drink. Well, I'm going to drink some Oskar's Lager.
It's a second.
So we'll get it.
Delicious.
We
and
got
nutritious.
you covered, senior marketing manager there. We got you covered. So
Thank you. That's why I'm here,
Yeah.
Just to say,
Aaron,
labels out.
Labels out, man. So is it something when you go to the store, can you help yourself from facing all your cans? Are you all in your Are they all boxed now?
We're all boxed now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been about 1.5 or 2 years that we moved to all the cartons. And it's honestly a big relief because I couldn't help myself anywhere I was. Like I'd be on vacation in Florida. I'm originally from Florida, and
okay.
I'd have to face, I'd check the date first, see when it was canned, and then face all the cans. And sometimes it can take a lot of time.
I feel like
I find myself doing that.
I was about to say the same
in the
thing.
brewery. It's like, got to face these cans off. I'll tell you one thing, and I emailed the brewery and told them this. They had two different boxes. One was a light, like a seafoam green, and the other was like a seafoam blue, and they were in the box packages. But the name of the beer. Let's mute Juice for a second here. We'll bring him back in a minute. But the name of the beer was on the bottom of that, and when the store put them on the shelf with the little shelf riser thing, it hid the name of the beer, and you couldn't tell one from the other. It was just, it was branding wise, there was nothing there.
Yeah, not the best. You have to be aware of the way you stack on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do find myself, in addition to checking all the dates on IPAs obsessively because I've been burned too many times on that, I do find myself facing cans. I'm like, you don't work here. Stop that. Stop that.
But doesn't it look nice? It looks nicer,
well,
right? Not just your brands, but all of them. They look nicer when they're faced out.
And I will do it when I realize that somebody has intentionally out of spite turned beers away that they dislike. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't. And I turn them right back around. I'm like, yeah, somebody thought they were doing something there. It's like, no, I'm undoing it.
I saw a post from a bottle shop recently where there was a certain brand, and I forget what the brand was, but apparently another brewery was coming in and moving this particular brewery's beer and putting theirs in its place.
Oh, wow.
And they told them, they're like, do not move the so-and-so beer. Don't move it. I was like, man, that's cutthroat stuff out there.
And it could well be, somebody, a rep or somebody involved with the brewery that's like, oh, I don't like those guys at all. And I don't recall exactly, but there's been a few times I'm like, they don't deserve that. I don't know what your beef is with that, but they turned all the cans sideways. Or I just assumed they were just being a nuisance, being an idiot child. And I just turned them right back around. I'm like, don't hurt them for no reason.
Before the show, Brian told me he likes to go to the store and people pick up anything but rock solid. He'll go, ooh.
He'll trip
right. They go to another one. Okay. All right.
He'll trip them as they walk away from the aisle.
Oskar Blues is a close second,
There you go.
You had to say that.
Play into it there.
1050 is one of my favorites.
It is. Yeah. Can't argue with that, man.
It's a good one.
Let's see.
Quality stuff.
Juice, Paging Juice. How you doing, sir?
I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure if this is going to work any better than before.
Well, it didn't clip you there. I'll say that, which is an improvement. So we'll see how it's going. So, Juice, do you face, or did you before the packaging? Did you face cans when you went to the store?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that's what we were talking about. You just.
I'm a very meticulous person, so and those sayings were hilarious. So that's the best part about what Oskar Blues was built on, was the humor and the joking that went along with the business while we worked really hard and play hard. So it was those things were essential to the Oskar Blues lore.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh yeah. No Mike Nate has requested a mic to ask a question.
Didn't you guys used to do like joke codes on the bottom of your cans too?
Yeah, they're still on there. We call it can slang.
What's that one say? I don't have my glasses.
Guys.
Oh, goodness.
Chainsaw go broom.
Yep.
Broom. There you go. I appreciate that. A little entertainment with your
broom. Okay.
Yeah, the packaging guys get to, pick whatever they want. Well, not whatever they want, I will say, but within reason, they get to pick what goes on the bottom of each can. Some of them are really good too.
The ones that aren't Juice's idea? Is he allowed to? Is he allowed to partake? I think there?
Juice may have had his credentials revoked for that.
Poor Juice.
We used to have a list of things that you couldn't say. This giant
things,
of things that.
Yeah.
What's next?
Oh, yeah,
guys, what should we get into next? Should we go Smash Dash, Hick Haze, or Guava Rodeo?
I would go with the Smash Dash and the Thick
Sounds
Haze,
like a plan.
And
So
sour. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay.
We're in action here.
All the great can opening sound here.
Crack, crack, crack.
I'll just say that I'll play this in a loop when I go to bed at night.
Yeah. Dream about instead of sheep, he's dreaming out facing cans and listening to cans open.
Can opening.
Crack.
I always thought the can opening sound, that pop, is what people should lean into, and not so much the pouring sound.
That pop is where it's at.
The pop is where it's at, and the pouring sound can get a little,
glug glug glug. Right.
A little weird.
So fun fact, the can popping sound is what we use when we have to censor on our show, because we're on the radio, so we can't swear. So
right.
If you hear a show and you hear a really loud, very clear can pop, it's probably a censor there.
It's good.
Probably something I said. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Probably you say it's probably something you said, Juice. Just all kinds of can popping throughout the show, huh?
Well, working for Oskar Blues for the last 11 years and spending a lot of time with Dale. Dale doesn't have a filter, so
okay.
If you've ever seen his interviews or quotes or videos, they're pretty straightforward without any hidden messages. So we learn from him and try to carry the torch. But I've learned to become a lot more eloquent on radio.
I did watch a video with Dale that was an interview that ended with what looked like a wrestling match right there at the bar. So it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Something tumbled down there.
Something fell over.
Something tumbled.
Something inside.
Was it in that fridge?
I don't know.
Because I don't know. Was there anything left in the freezer to fall out of the little one?
I pulled them all out.
Okay.
Did the Jenga fall?
We don't know.
Beer
something
Jenga
fell, but we don't know what it is. So, oh well. If there's not beer spraying all over, I guess we're okay there.
It's probably fine.
All right.
All right, segment 2.
Let's do it. All right. Get back into this.
Ready?
I am ready. Yes, sir.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Remember, all episodes are available on demand. So if you missed the broadcast, get the podcast. Beer Guys Radio is available on all popular and unpopular podcasting apps. Let's get back to Oskar Blues Brewery.
Oskar Blues Brewery. Guys, we just got into Smash the Stash. And for those that don't know, a smash beer, we've homebrewed, we've dabbled, so we know all about the smash. But what is a smash beer?
Well, I mean, it's an acronym for single malt and single hop. So it's, once you know what those letters mean and for the word, you'll start to see this phrase and word around a lot of breweries. It's a way for a brewery to make a beer using one single hop of origin and then one particular grain of their choice. So we do like to make a lot of these, and they're tap room favorites for us.
So the Smash the Stash, what is the malt and hop in this one?
Okay, so the malt is a pale Genie variety malt from Root Shoot Malting Company, giving them a shout out from Loveland, Colorado. It's actually an award-winning pale malt, and it just has incredible Colorado terroir flavor to it. A little hint of color, so you get that nice golden hue. Without imparting any type of complex sugars to the beer, so that it finishes very dry and very crisp and very clean. So it's been a favorite of mine to use on a small scale for the last 4 to 5 years.
I just realized that I'm missing a word on this can. I think I've been saying Smash Stash. This is Smash for Stash
because it's for a purpose.
It's for a purpose.
Yeah.
It is
right.
Aaron, this feels like an Aaron question here. What is the purpose of Smash for Stash?
Yeah, so it's an organization called Stash Strong, which supports brain cancer research. And Lou McKercher, who is the manager of all 4 of our tap rooms all over the country. So we have 2 in Colorado, 1 in Austin, and then 1 here in Brevard, North Carolina. He had a good friend who was affected by brain cancer, and so this is kind of his baby in a way, working with this organization, and then giving a percentage of the sales to them, and then actually having the name of the beer actually harken back to that nonprofit as well. So Juice took care of the rest on the beer side, but it's great to do it with a great organization like that and support something that kind of hit close to home.
Yeah, for sure. I always love seeing beers for a cause, beers for a purpose there. So
sure. Yeah. We're going to drink. We might as well do a good thing on top of drinking,
right.
Which I think is already
exactly.
a good thing, but double down on the goodness.
Sure. Might as well. Yeah. We were talking a little off the air about smash beers, and we remember when Golden Promise was a popular one to use as the malt, and Maris Otter, man. Yeah. Maris Otter Mosaic, that was a popular combo there for a good while.
Yeah. Yep.
It was.
Yeah.
So Juice, you've been doing a bunch of smash stuff in your facility where you're doing a lot of research, like a year's worth of smash beers or even more, right? Just a ton of research on it.
I've been at the, running the facility of the R&D program for the last 6 years. And we've been doing it for the last 6 years, trying to get one done every couple months or so. All those heavy hitter hops like Citra and Mosaic, Galaxy, that are very popular. We've done some smaller batches with hops like Cashmere when it first came out, or Grundgeist, a new German hop that's noble. So just to see how weird these hops can get when you push the limits of using them in an IPA. So this particular hop that's in this variation, the Smash for Stash, is the Sabro hop. And if you've had Sabro before, it's very, very obvious hop with that lime and coconut characteristic that comes from it. And the development of this hop has led to a potential future Cannabis variation called Cannabis Tiki, where we'll use the Sabro and the Brew One and other types of really tropical hops to kind of create a Tiki style type hopped IPA Cannabis variation. So, all this work that we do, leads to potential large scale production in hopes.
So that's the fun stuff, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. The experimentation, man.
Yeah, I'm sure any brewer that brews because they love to brew, that's the fun stuff, right? You can crank out how big is your production batches now? What size is your brew house there?
Our production facility in Longmont, Brevard is a 50-barrel brew house.
50 barrel, yeah.
There's only a small amount of 100-barrel fermenters, but mostly 200-barrel fermenters. So we're looking at 4 turns to fill those up. I produce 10-barrel batches. So
okay.
we've got 300-barrel fermenters here in Brevard.
That's right.
300 barrel.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And we've got sort of a double barrel shotgun style mash tun of 250 barrel kind of side by side, so they can mash in, one on each side to fill those 300 barrel fermenters faster.
That's something. I don't remember the size, but I remember when Sweetwater was the biggest ones I'd ever seen. They've got massive tanks there. And then I went up to Asheville area and did the Sierra Nevada tour.
Yeah, those are wild. Those are like, they extend from the floor outside of the building,
right?
Rising
out of the building,
like towers. Yeah, outside of it's crazy.
They've got their own zip codes,
right? I mean, they had a hops room there at Sierra Nevada that you could play in batches that were probably more than some small breweries used in a year in hops, and they just had them in there for the fans to come through and mess around in.
Mm-hmm. That place is pretty wild.
It's crazy. It is, yeah.
We're fortunate to be nearby them, and they've actually been closed down throughout the pandemic.
Right.
Their tap room, so we get a lot of folks coming to the tap room here because we're only 15 minutes away. That wanted to go to Sierra, but we've been open. We've got a great outdoor patio, outdoor bar with 32 taps. So we've been open, the whole time pretty much. We were shut down in the beginning, but it's been fun.
It's been interesting, talking through this when the pandemic first started, like maybe the first month, of course, every brewer we talked to, that's what we wanted to talk about because it was the hot topic.
Sure. Yeah,
sure.
And then maybe 5 or 6 weeks in, the guys are like, can we talk about anything except COVID? And I'm like, absolutely, man. I feel you. Sure enough, they're like, it's
we don't need to be reminded about this. We see masks every day, all day. So
they're like, they told us 3 months ago we had to do this for a month, and now we're here. So, but it's nice, infection numbers are dropping, more people are getting vaccinated, so we're working back towards it. Like I said, we got to spend a Saturday in a beer garden. Which is something we haven't done in a while, so that was nice.
It's very nice. It's very nice. You mentioned earlier the Can of Bliss series, and I have to admit, I'm a little embarrassed. I did not realize that Can of Bliss was both a beer. I think it's a single beer plus a seasonal selection of beers, correct? So it's all of the above? Just had to be clear on that.
It's really just our platform for IPAs and everything, all the different variations of IPAs. So we have a rotating series that changes 3 times a year, and then we've done some standalone versions as well that are out all year. A double Can of Bliss and a Can of Bliss Resinous, which is I think that's probably my favorite. I love that beer.
It does sound
the
good.
resiny one.
Yeah, and Juice can go into more of the technical stuff with it, but the thing I love about it is it's got like the old school West Coast piney citrus characteristic, but it's wrapped up in this new school sort of mouthfeel, and it's hazy and it's got that kind of smooth finish to it, which is just something that it blew my mind the first time I tasted it. It's just something I've never had before.
Sign me up. I do I love the West Coast stuff. I kind of miss clarity in IPAs and I miss bitterness in IPAs. I hate to say it. I do like what we have, but I miss those things.
I could bring back clarity, but they can keep the bitterness.
You can keep the bitterness.
They can keep it. There's no need for that to come back.
It doesn't need to be 1,000 IBUs anymore because that's ridiculous.
Right.
But I do miss the West Coast style. It's I think it is making a comeback, but it's not.
We're seeing a few more of them pop up.
It's not the big thing that it once was. So,
Brian, does Rock Solid do a West Coast IPA?
I'm from the West Coast. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Nice.
Juice, a question for you, and this is a very important one. There is a right and wrong answer here. Barley wines, American or English?
English.
Thank you. That's the correct answer. Yes,
I agree. It's the right answer.
Yeast and malts, and I don't need
Yeah.
it. I think it's unnecessary for those additional IBUs. I mean,
right.
It's not. I'm looking for the caramel. I'm looking for the toffee notes. I'm looking for the alcohol.
Not in a barley wine, man. Just bring me the malts and toffee.
No need for the IBUs. Yeah.
Right. Well, you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We do need to take another break, but we'll be back very soon with more from Oskar Blues.
Dre. Oh, I'm still sleeping. Could you shut our Wi-Fi?
What's that?
Pulled Brian there.
What'd I do?
Asked a question right at the end of the segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a short one. Yeah. Plus, we needed a little buffer. That was actually the reason I did that.
Okay.
I did need a little time.
I've been watching the time a little closer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I did need a little time. Yeah, we like to joke around on the. It's not a joke though. I shouldn't say joke around. I'm dead serious, man. It should only be English barley wines.
More, but I think that the bitterness does help to a certain point for balance a little bit.
Your opinion is wrong. So yeah,
but I do prefer the English style. I do.
We got a bottle recently of the Founder's Nemesis, and the latest one that I think is out here. And the ones I'd had before that were probably pretty vintage, maybe 5 years old or so from the previous releases. So the hops are all but gone in that one.
Yeah.
But boy, that freshie, there's plenty of hot bitterness.
And I actually enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I still think the English style is the preferred style for me. I think it is better, but I like that. I really did like that Nemesis. In fact, No Mike Nate's got a 4-pack for me somewhere that he's eventually going to bring to me.
So he said.
Eventually, I'm going to get it. All right.
Cool. What's up? What do we got? What's on deck?
Beer. Yeah, let's
next. I think we're moving to Thick Haze, aren't we?
Thick Haze.
I think so.
Thick Haze.
I believe we were finishing sour. Crack.
There we go. Gracias. Aaron, the next step in your obsession with facing cans and that is going onto the production line and shifting all the can tops before they're seamed. So they sip the right way.
That seems a lot more intense than facing cans in the grocery store.
If you're looking for a name for a light beer, like a working man's beer, Can Facer. Perfect name.
Is it?
Yeah, I bet you won't find it. Can Facer? Come on. For the guy who has to go down the aisle and face the cans, or anybody who has to face product.
Naming beers is hard.
See, we told you we are full of terrible ideas.
I'm saying
there's one for you.
I'll bet it doesn't show up at Untapped and people see that and like, oh yeah, all right, that's a name. That's a name.
That is a name.
That is a name.
That is a name. Yes.
Also a beer.
Sometimes you say things, and I can see in your face that you think it's brilliant.
Oh, it's genius.
But I'm not sure anybody else is on the bus with you.
If only you could hear everything going on in my head.
I know. I've been there, man. I've been there.
You probably shouldn't.
No, I don't want to be. I got enough going on in my head. I don't think I need to get in yours too. In your head. All right.
What's that? What's the? Oh, I know. Yeah.
What's your date there, Juice?
Guess you guys looking.
See, check it out. What's the date?
I'm disappointed.
4/27/21.
Nice.
I'm disappointed by the bottom of the Smash for Stash. There's no witty phrase down there. It's just it's just a very boring date. It's a fresh date, but it's a very boring date. So, is there something under the Thick Hazy?
Okay, we get it. You have puns.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. That is
mine is rule. This is a good one too. Rule number 3: hydrate.
There you go.
Good advice, man. That is solid advice.
This one says for your haze personality. So
here,
I've seen better. I mean,
yeah, that one's. I give it a 4.
Here's a slogan we're going to start using, and Aaron, you can use this on a can. Tell him to put this one on. So we use this to promote the show. So I think that'd be perfect that'd be good on a can. Oskar Blues. Tell a friend. Threaten an enemy.
I even threaten friends often. So
threaten a friend.
That's it.
Tell an enemy.
Yeah, threaten a friend and an enemy.
That might be even better.
Got a thumbs up from Keith here.
Nice.
Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for joining in here, Keith. Got to get all these little things on top of each other here. Thanks for dropping in there, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. This is tasty. The dankiness.
Yeah, I mean this beer, the dry hop is built off of Galaxy. So the Galaxy Smash that we did was so well received in our tap rooms, and Galaxy hop just in general is just phenomenal. I mean, it has everything that you want from citrus to fruity, spice. Has a little bit of that old school dank in there too.
It does. Yeah.
A lot of these tropical
hops out of this world
do not have anymore. Yeah, exactly. But the combination of that with Eureka, Calypso, and Cashmere. Those are the dry hops in this beer with the Zaka and the Whirlpool.
See, I dig that combo. Really cool see, I dig the combo of the big tropical with some of that dankiness in there. I think that's a really nice combo in a beer.
Yeah, that was the whole goal behind the development of this is to have that one heavy hitter, and then layer off some of those other fruity, softer hops. That's you get that hop depth from, so you get a lot of depth when you're sipping it. You have the after flavor of different hops, and it's and different oil contributions as well too, leads to that mouthfeel as well. The malt bill is pretty straightforward with 2-row wheat and malted oats. That's your New England style IPA kind of malt bill go to.
There's so much to get into with the oil. Sorry, go ahead, Juice.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we brought in a different yeast though that is different than our core brand beers. So this is the London 2 ale yeast. So we brought a brand new yeast in, and this beer has that, and then the Double Can of Bliss uses that particular yeast as well. So that gives when you change the yeast, you change a lot of other components and esters to your malt profile and fermentation. So that combined with all those hops is where we get this dank beer from.
Isn't that London 2 the one they recommend to like homebrewers that want to brew a hazy? It's low attenuating, right? Low flock.
Yeah, and it really just bursts those hops, those hop flavors. It really intensifies everything without getting too weird in the ester profile. So
that's cool stuff, man. Have you messed much with Kvike?
Have not, but this summer when my brewery gets to be 110 degrees,
good time to try it out, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring some in, and I'm just gonna turn the jacket off to the glycol, and just let it rip and just get weird,
It's saison season.
I think that our Austin brewery has done a little bit of that.
Okay,
because they recently got a small batch system. When we, not to get too in the weeds with a history lesson, but when we moved to Brevard and opened this brewery, we really only had the 50 barrel mash tun. Like we had a little peanut picker that we called it. It was like a homebrew system, and we could make like a keg, or we could make 200 kegs. There was no in between.
Nothing in between.
And so just recently we got 3-barrel systems set up here in Brevard and in Austin. Well, it's been about a year at this point, a year and a half. So we've been doing a little bit of small batch stuff in those places.
Yeah, the last year and a half kind of disappeared, bro. I mean, everybody's like,
it did, man. It's like, what happened?
We didn't really do anything, but I felt like it went by quick, but it didn't feel like it when it was happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man. It's just weird. I feel like
when you can't go out and do anything different day after day, it blurs together. At a certain point, you're like,
it's just bizarre.
I was like, it's 5 years later. Oh my God, I've got more gray hair. What happened? What did I even do?
I remember coming into the new year and everybody was throwing the Roaring 20s New Year's parties.
Oh yeah.
And they're all like, 2020, let's party, let's go. Nah, 2020 is like, no, you don't.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
that's right, Nate. That is right.
He's been waiting to use that.
Thank you, Nate. Good timing on that one. So
he was trying to get me to.
He
was trying to get me to repeat a bad joke just so he could use
that. Just to get that one out there. That's it, man. Good stuff.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
I think I did see when I was looking through on tap for their newest beers. I believe I did see somebody had done a Kvike, and going back to that calling it back. 110 will be intriguing because most people seem like they stop at 90. I want to see it go just crazy.
I've just heard a lot of variants on it. I remember talking to Mitch Steele, and I don't remember what temperature it was, but he said he liked to stop it a little bit lower because I think he said it started to get some maybe estery, too estery on the top. Do you know, is that characteristic of Kveik juice?
I mean, it can get a little too estery, but I mean, it's hard for fermentation. You know, it initially generates heat, so even with ambient temperature in the brew house, you know, being in the 90s or whatever your facility is, like at some point it's going to stop generating, you know, heat internally.
Right.
And this is a very fast yeast. I mean, this thing is it can be done in a day or two. So it gets up to temp, and then it'll start to, you know, cool itself down by ambient temperature or glycol if you choose. So, but I'm gonna get fun with it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Play around with it.
I want to see it quite golden. Go up to 110. Let it do all the weird estery, funky, whatever. I just want to, nothing.
Get
just
funky.
Don't even hide the fact that this is probably going to get a little Belgian-y on you. So let's see what happens. I want to try that. I think people like to, they use it to functionally do the things they need to do to make money, you know, to run a business. I want them to get nuts with it and do something that may not sell well because I want to try that. Bad ideas.
What's the thing? It's
bad ideas by Brian Hewitt.
I'm in a situation where like we try different things and we have a budget to not always expect that these beers turn out and that they're
sure.
And we have a high standard too as well. So the beer might be fine for a lot of people, but if it's not up to our standards, then we won't put it in our tap rooms, and we'll just have to dump it. But we'll learn something from it. You know, the whole point is learning and moving on. But we don't just put everything out just because, you know, it's isn't how we
you can't do research and development without having a few flops there. It's just
absolutely.
If you do it and you never have a flop, you're not trying hard enough there. You're playing it too safe.
Hey, I'm pretty close though, man. I'm pretty close.
You tune it in. Tune it in. Sure. Yeah. You're not dumping too much beer, right?
Not too much, man. Not on my watch, you know?
That's it, man. Good stuff. Well, all right, let's get back. We're going into 3, right? Right, Nathan?
Segment
all right,
3.
Here we go.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Shake it back!
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our great radio affiliates, WZUS 100.9 FM in Decatur, Illinois. Catch Beer Guys Radio on WZUS every Saturday at 8 a.m. Now let's get back to Oskar Blues Brewery.
Oskar Blues. We've moved on. We've moved on to a new beer. We got Thick Haze. Juice, we were just talking about this on the break. We've got some tropical. We got a little dank in here too, kind of mixing. It's like Reese's Cup. Two great tastes that taste great together here, right?
You got your dank into my tropical. No,
right.
You got your
dank in my
dank.
tropical. So
that's the whole point is, I mean, everybody's doing the tropical thing, or everybody likes to try to do a citrus thing, and the goal is to really combine all of those heavy hitters, all those great hop characteristics into one beer. This is the first legit, publicized New England style IPA that we did on a large scale. I mean, there's been some small batch stuff that we've done in tap rooms, but you might as well go for it if you're gonna bring in the London ale yeast and you're gonna throw in a bunch of Galaxy. You need to have those supporting hops as well. So it's all about balance, but also about being aggressive as well.
It's tasty stuff. I enjoy it.
Indeed.
Aaron, I think this may be another Aaron Baker question. This sounds like maybe another marketing manager question there. So we want to talk a little bit about the Canarchy Collective. So Oskar Blues is a member of the Canarchy Collective. And I think if I saw right, there's 7 breweries and it looked like a hydration beverage part of the collective now. Does that sound correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got 7 different breweries. Cigar City Brewing is probably the one that most of your listeners are familiar with from down there in Tampa. But we've got, now you're going to put me on the spot naming them all, but Perrin in Michigan, Deep Ellum in Texas, Squatters in Wasatch, which are both in Utah, and Three Weavers, which is in LA.
Good stuff. So I'll have some trivia here for those who don't know this. I think I may have shared this on the show before, but Wayne Wombles, the head brewer, brewmaster at Cigar City, was a brewer in Atlanta. And Hunapoo's actually got its start as a batch at Owen Ogletree's Cascale Festival.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So the first iteration of Hunapoo's was brewed for a festival here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then he went down there to Cigar City, and Hunapoo's became the
big thing,
the legend that it is now. Yeah. So
the anchor for an entire week of beer.
A cool little attachment here. It's good stuff. So being part of the collective, does each brewery still get to maintain their own identity and kind of do their thing? Where I'm sure there's a little of both sides there, correct?
Yeah. I mean, what I always tell people is we've intentionally kept a lot of things separated. And obviously I'm in marketing. So all of we have separate marketing departments at each brewery. The tap rooms are still very much run. Tap rooms are like the heart of any brewery. That's really where, those interactions between brewers and customers and, being embedded in a community, that's all about the tap room. So all that stuff is still separate. It's a lot of the boring stuff that is integrated, like HR, super boring, finance, very boring.
Lame.
But
HR is so boring until they call you into their office. Then not so boring.
Yeah. But I will say on the brewing side, and Juice can go into this more, but what the collective brings to us is a huge amount of buying power on the raw ingredient side, and really just like the research and development and like getting into hops that aren't available to all breweries, because we've got the buying power of 7 breweries to go to those hop suppliers and these are the hops that we want. So we do get access to some stuff early on, and Juice is certainly the beneficiary of that. And that's where we were talking about those smash beers. That's where we try a lot of that stuff out.
So is that the main benefit of being part of the collective? The group buying power, obviously, but distribution perhaps, or something else? Is there more to it than that, or is it really kind of a buying organization?
No, definitely distribution and just having facilities all over the country as well, because we've got production breweries here in North Carolina and in Texas and Florida and Colorado. So we have been able to brew certain beers, like we're brewing High Lie here, which is Cigar City's flagship here in North Carolina. And so that means that people up and down the East Coast are getting very fresh High Lie, stuff that if it were coming from Tampa wouldn't necessarily be the case. So, getting fresh beer to the beer drinker, that's a huge benefit. And we were talking about checking the dates on the bottom of cans earlier. Those dates are getting better from us because of the collective and being able to get that fresher beer to people faster.
Fresh beer is best, man.
It is.
Keep cold, drink fresh, Brian.
Get it faster and get it now. And cold. Yeah, absolutely, man. So, people look at organizations like this, and do people kind of equate you with Big Beer as being an organization like this? I guess that's the question, because you've got people like AB InBev, or organizations like AB InBev that have gone through buying breweries up, and it's generally considered a bad thing. How is this collective different? I guess is what my question is how would this be different than Big Beer buying a brewery up?
Right. Yeah, we get that question a lot. And I think, the difference is that we're still operating, like we were before we were in the collective. I mean, there's not a whole lot of noticeable difference on the side that Juice is on, which is the most important thing, developing new beers and getting beers to the beer drinker. So there's no changes there. We're still, Oskar Blues is still a 10th the size of Sierra Nevada. So I don't think we can be considered Big Beer. We still are a pretty scrappy bunch. And we're, going back to the tap room thing, that's what's been important to me, in joining the collective, is that tap room culture and like being part of the community, which is a huge part of like Dale's background, the founder there in Lyons, Colorado. It's a tiny mountain town in Colorado. Brevard in North Carolina is a tiny mountain town. And, from the beginning, we wanted to be, a huge part of the community and just give back as much as possible. Dale always tells the story about, he would know when his kids got in trouble at school because there was somebody at the restaurant there in Colorado telling them about it before they were even home, And that's the same vibe that we've got across our tap rooms, even though, we've expanded to different states. And, that's just core to who Oskar Blues is. And it's great that we've been able to hold on to that.
I think sometimes I don't
touch on that too. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
No, go right ahead.
My whole goal is to carry through the company, as one of the faces of Oskar Blues. But we don't carry ourselves in the same light that Cigar City does or Deep Ellum does. Like each individual brewery has their own identity and their own personality. They're managing themselves. We have a Canarchy, vice president of brewing operations that helps oversee everything, but it's all about putting the right materials, right prices in the right hands. But I still feel like I work for the original Oskar Blues that I started with, years and years ago. So that it's hard to feel that we've grown out of touch with that stuff. It's still important to the company, and it's my main goal is to maintain that vibe and that feel.
Gotcha. Aaron, you mentioned earlier that talking about each brewery having its own marketing department. That's one thing that kind of triggered it for me is all the email I get each brewery in Canarchy, I get, from the separate people there. So that was kind of, I was like, so that kind of juice, kind of what you said, it still feels like Oskar Blues is Oskar Blues. It's not necessarily, Oskar Blues, a division of Canarchy.
A collection of companies that have come together to, do various things like distribute beer and buy hops, I guess. Yeah. That's what it seems like.
And when it comes to the larger breweries, like I would put Oskar Blues as one of the larger breweries, but you mentioning you're like a tenth of the size of Sierra Nevada. I never would have realized there was that much of a difference in size.
Nor would I.
But I remember Sam Cook talking one time, and he made the comment, this was years ago, so I'm sure it's changed, but he made the comment that Budweiser dumps more beer on the floor than he brews in a year. And he's like, that's not an exaggeration. He's like, that's legitimate.
No,
so
that's real. That's real stuff.
Right. Yeah. Crazy stuff, huh? Well, you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We need to take another break, but we'll be back right after this with more from Oskar Blues.
All right.
I just realized we talked about Smash for Stash and nobody mentioned my mustache, which I'm pretty disappointed. Pretty disappointed in you guys.
Were you the can model? Is that you need to break the wax out and bring your tips up a little more there, man. So
no, I can't go there. I can't go there.
Not happening.
I rocked a stash like periodically throughout the winter, and I just let everything go and it goes away. And I literally just shaved this morning because I'm seeing the friggin' sun out there. I'm like, I need to go.
Time to break. Break out the beach
sun on your
face. The beach face.
Yeah. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. See, I've never had. It irritates me when it starts to grow in, and I've tried to let it grow out, and I've got actually a tragic story, guys. I was horribly burnt when I was younger, and one side of my face won't grow hair, so I can't grow a full beard. That's a true story, by the way, but I can't grow a full beard, so I've tried doing like the goatee ring here, or I've tried just doing the mustache, and it gets like a week in, and all I want to do is like scratch at my face there. So
you have to get to 2 weeks.
You gotta break through, huh? You gotta break through.
Dude,
after a certain length, it's not really too bad.
Yeah, I don't have I'm weak.
I just after a certain point, like my mustache would get so long that everything I would eat or drink started to live on it, and I like wasn't enough napkins, it wasn't enough sleeves, I'm like,
sure,
it's gotta go.
I do obsessively use napkins when I'm eating, and I'm like, I know this is silly because I'm just gonna take another bite, but I do like to get it out. It's seriously, the mustache is the hardest part of it. Honestly, the beard is not a big deal. It'll catch stuff, but nobody, I don't care about that. It's the mustache gets in your mouth and gets in the way, collects stuff. And so that's the biggest thing I have to trim. The rest of it is almost no maintenance.
I try to keep mine off the lips. Like I don't like when it starts to like curl
down on there.
Yeah, I'm not. I like to keep mine trimmed up.
When it starts doing that, it irritates me. And I've got an old beard trimmer that I'll just do it so I get it right at the lip line.
Yours is your lips totally covered.
Oh yeah, it curls down.
He's talking about. I mean, you close your mouth, it's like you can't even tell you have a mouth.
That's right. I do like that. But it's scientific. There's an exact length where it can do that, but not get in the way.
That was
every 12 hours he trims it up.
Yeah, you got to keep it right there, right?
It seriously is. It gets annoying. I have a stray hair. When the stray hair happens, I like, oh, this one's got to go, and I'll just So
well, with all the nanotechnology and robotics and stuff we have, pretty soon you'll have one that can it will live on your beard.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Like a beard Roomba.
Right, a beard Roomba.
I need a beard Roomba.
We need a beard Roomba.
That'd be amazing.
Beard Roomba.
Guys, please use that as a beard name. That's a
great beard name.
I see some good graphics coming up with this too. So the beard Roomba. Yeah. See, that's my moment of brilliance, like you, Brian, with whatever the heck it was you were talking about.
So, such genius, Tim. That, oh my God, far eclipses what I was talking about. I don't remember what it was.
Thank you. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that realized that.
It was a can face.
That's right. Can facer.
Can facer, yeah. Oh, come on. That's just
now
great.
I'm disappointed a second time in you, Brian, on the same thing.
That is so like throwback grungy. It has to be a West Coast IPA. Can facer. Like flannel.
I was thinking like a light lager, something you could just like.
I started that way, but can facer now sounds like it's angsty to me. I don't know why.
I'm thinking like to the face.
It's an insult.
Yeah.
Your mother's a goat. You can facer. Whoa.
Hold on.
Calm down, buddy.
All I did was insult your mother. No need to get dirty.
Whoa.
Yeah, right. Whoa. Hey, are either of you guys in the craft beer professionals group on Facebook?
No, I am. Yeah.
It's called Craft Beer Professionals.
Do we look like craft beer professionals?
You know what? Good point. I can't even believe I asked that, man. Yeah. But a brewer recently went on there and he made up a little logo and he's like, guys, I did this as a joke, but I'd like to invite anybody else that wants to join in. He invented the LMBA, Lawnmower Beer Association. That's it. The LMBA.
Oh, no kidding. All right.
Yeah. He made a little logo and he's like, we need to have criteria. And I threw in, I said, there should be consumer criteria as well. Like one of the tenets should be all consumers must wipe sweat from forehead with forearm and exclaim, sure is a hot one out here today, huh? Before drinking any LMBA beer. Can you throw the crickets over there for me?
Yes, please. Yeah.
There we go.
Sure.
It came across better in the post.
I think you have to wear New Balance shoes.
Balance
with grass stains on them.
There you go.
While drinking
white ones that are grass stained.
Yeah. Is that a jort wearing beer? Like the one with the hammer pockets where you could throw a can in the hammer pocket or whatever? Yeah, formal jorts. These are my dress jorts. They have a crease.
Oh, come on. Don't.
All right.
Okay. Guys, what have we missed? We've got the Death by series to talk about. We're going into the last segment here. So we definitely want to get into Death by some flapjacks.
New beers beyond. There's other new beers beyond that.
We talked about Clanabisque.
Oh, we've got Guava Rodeo here, so we can talk about that too.
Cool. Anything else that you can think of, guys?
I think that's, I don't know.
We got it, man.
How much more time are we looking at here?
We got 10 minutes.
10
minutes.
That seems like that's a good amount. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's rock and roll then. So
Death by Guava Rodeo, and
so we'll come in talking about the guava.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll roll into Death by, and then we'll just kind of close out with the new stuff.
Okay. And things that may be coming up as well.
That's what I just said. You just said the same thing I did differently.
Things that may be coming up. New currently is stuff that's out. Things that may be coming up,
and then maybe we can think about things that may be coming up.
Baker, let me know what I can say that is coming out. So
okay.
Well, in the reason,
I don't think we have anything that's too.
There's a private chat here if you guys need to.
Yeah, private chat.
So here, like we'll do this. Here, Nate, type this in the put. Let's see.
I can't type my phone on a laptop, on a towel, on a headset. I mean, it's just freaking GDP crew over here.
Oh no,
MacGyver.
I've hit infield pop-ups right now. It sucks.
Here you go, guys. Here's all right. Let's see.
But
That's two words. That's 2 words.
I was going to say, I'd read while he's typing this very slowly. I'd read about a beer that might be coming up, and I don't think it has a name. And
are you serious?
I'm reading your handwriting.
You do not know? Does that phrase? Do you not know that? Right?
Bring the crickets back.
Oh
well, you did have a lot of space between
guys. I want to apologize ahead of time. There you go.
Can we get the crickets queued up?
How's that, guys? There we go. Sorry, Facebook viewers and all.
That's
of that.
all super
YouTubers.
private.
Inside jokes.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Because I was reading some good articles on that, Aaron.
Yes, I did also see an article as well.
All right, so we'll leave that one alone. But the private chat's handy for there, Aaron. Right? We promise, Aaron. We promise. All right, let's do this.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/beerguys. Patrons get cool perks like commercial-free episodes and swag. It's great. Now let's get back to Oskar Blues.
That's right. That's right. Juice, we just cracked into your guava rodeo here. And this is sour ale with guava, tangerine, and other natural flavors. What are the other natural flavors in this beer?
That's a great question. They are made of natural origins. So we'll keep that, keep that a top secret.
That's okay. Is that just, I've seen a few breweries that say that. Is that just a way to say that we don't have artificial stuff in this?
It's a guava terpene aroma. So
I think I've asked a trade secret question.
Oh,
man.
I didn't know there were guava terpenes or like aroma compounds that you could use. Yeah.
There are compounds that you can put together, just a slight amount, because with over 10 pounds per barrel of guava puree and over 2 pounds per barrel of tangerine puree, that's really what digs into the flavor of this product. But what the tripping does is gives a little bit of that top note and aromatic kind of burst combined with CO2 and pressure.
All right.
So this beer uses the Sangiovese yeast, which is a lactic acid producing yeast. So this is not a bacteria soured product. But we're super happy. We've done some sour Vissier beers in the past that have led us to develop this type of product that we're very stoked about for, especially this time of year, spring and summer. It's got a right balance of lactic acid. It's tart, but we didn't want it too tart and too polarizing for people that are, you know, apprehensive of trying sour beers, but also not too fruity. So we felt we found a nice little middle lane there where we'd have that tartness and that fruitiness as well.
You know, I will say this from your description of what you were going for with this beer, as I'm drinking it, I think you absolutely nailed everything you were going for with it, because Indeed. I'm thinking the fruit's there, but it's not like fruity. Yep. It's not a sweet, fruity beer. It's got a nice tartness to it, which that sour Vissier yeast that's pretty cool stuff. You can do with that. So it's fun to see that.
I mean, it's just incredible yeast that, you know, within 24 hours just drops that pH down where it would take, you know, months for certain bacteria to kind of do that. So and it's, you know, it's very clean, it's very predictable. We've gotten to a really good groove in a production level, which is hard to do when you're trying to produce a sour beer, you know, quickly on a large scale.
Yeah, and I think my can of the bottom of my can of Guava Rodeo appropriately says "Giddy Up Cowboy." Yeah. So I think that fits for a rodeo beer there.
It's Absolutely. A Guava Rodeo.
Yeah, it's a good brunch beer too, I think.
Sure enough.
It's like you know, perfect for early mid-morning drinking.
You could beer most of the heck out of this.
Oh yeah.
This my kid says shake well to mix in fruit.
See, I didn't shake mine at all, man. All my fruits
that
on
seems
the
like
bottom.
Dangerous recommendations right there.
That is not nice. That is not a nice thing to say to people.
Shake well, point towards face when opening.
Right.
So
yeah.
I do have to say. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So we just. This is top secret new information, but I got a buzz, so I'm going to say it. So we just brought in a slushy machine to one of our tap rooms, and this is going to be one of the brands that we're going to feature with other additional purees added to it, and also, you know, tiki inspired type slushy ales as well from small scale. So that'll be coming to our Longmont tap room here in the next few weeks. But that sour base, you know, everybody's seen those slushy beers, right? Where they add like 20 pounds per barrel of puree to a bright, you know, beer, and then package it and wish and hope for the cans to last long enough
to stay together.
It'll allow us to toy around with this type of machine and do something fun for the summer, where we'll be able to feature an existing product and then kind of doll it up a little bit with other types of, you know, purees and things. So,
Juice, I believe I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you do those slushies, you have to up the sugar content a bit to get them to form correctly. Is that accurate?
You do. Yeah. There's a certain bricks, you know, number. Well, I believe it's 13. Not that I haven't been working on it, but you might have to back sweeten your product, you know, and it doesn't work for extremely high alcohol beers as well. Because I saw a future of potential barrel-aged stouts, but, you know, you have to get ice, and you need a certain ABV level, and you need a certain sugar content. So most purees that you get are kind of low in bricks and low in pH and very tart. So you can back sweeten potential simple syrups, stuff you would do for a high-end cocktails, you know, or tiki drinks. So there's a plan there and set inside. So we're excited.
I've never thought about pastry stout smoothies, but now that you've planted that seed in my head, I really want that to work out.
Well, it's like frappuccinos from the
heck
early
yeah, man. Count me in for the frappuccinos.
Hold on, now we're talking coffee.
Same thing.
Affogato.
Yeah.
See,
Tim, I'm just gonna say Guava Rodeo Micheladas.
Guava Rodeo Micheladas.
I think this would work well.
See, you're on a roll with horrible ideas today.
Oh, I think this would be beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
With tomato juice?
Yeah.
See.
Oh, I think this would be great.
That's not recommended by the Oskar Blues.
There you go. Brian, hey, Nate, I want to see if we can time this out, and so be ready with the trombone. Brian, what was your suggestion?
Guava Rodeo Micheladas.
Okay. Oh man,
we should probably get into the death by series.
Death by series, guys. Moving on here. Death by, and if I heard correctly, next one coming out, we got some Death by Flapjacks. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yes,
yeah,
that's correct.
So we've been playing around with the Death by series. Originated with Death by Coconut, obviously, which sort of took on a life of its own and became kind of a cult beer for us. And that still comes out every September. And so that's still a part of the series. But last couple of years, we expanded that series to include a couple different beers throughout the year. We had Death by King Cake, which came out, for Mardi Gras. And actually, somebody mentioned affogato, which I can't believe the word affogato came up. But we did a death by. I don't know if you guys were trying to push that segue. If you were, that's a very good radio.
We were
trick.
playing on it. We were trying. Thanks, Aaron. I'm glad you picked up on that. Yes.
That was
well
solid.
done.
I caught
So we did Death by Affogato last summer with vanilla and coffee, and so this year Juice came up with Death by Flapjacks. So I'll let him kind of intro that. It's going to come out in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
So, I mean, essentially, it's an English porter, which is a kind of a brown porter. Looking for that maple syrup color and hue in the malt bill. A little bit of lactose for mouthfeel, and that that back end sweetness. But it has maple syrup, and it has a little bit of nutmeg, and it also has a little bit of lemon peel, just to give all those that buttermilk kind of depth, with the combination of lactose and then lemon peel and the maple syrup being a huge hit. So it is what it says. I mean, it's a nice little malty sweet, caramel, maple syrup bomb, and it's something fun to do. It's something fun to take a dessert or a breakfast dish and take those ingredients that make up that particular recipe and try to turn them into a beer and find your balance within it. So we're excited.
I'm on board for it.
Seeing what people think.
Yeah, Brian, you've been over there being quiet, man, but you said them pastry stouts are your jam, right?
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah, so some Death by Flapjacks.
I want a double-sized pint glass. I'll call it a double stack. Pour 2 of them in there.
There you go.
I'm on board.
You got it, man. Yeah. You got it. Well, guys, we've got a little bit of time left here. So other than the Death by beers and that, what should folks be looking out for there from Oskar Blues?
Well, we mentioned the Cannabis series earlier. That's our kind of IPA playground that we play around with. So we've got some updates coming up for Cannabis, new flavors and innovation there. And we're messing around with the tiki thing.
Cool. Good.
We've got some tiki stuff coming out, and that's been a passion for a few of us employees within the company. But it's fun to try to take a spice, take a sweetener, and take a puree and make a beer out of it. So we have a lot of work that we've been put into, especially on the small scale, and where you see these beers that are available in our tap rooms. So you have to go to the tap rooms to get all the things.
Go to the tap room.
Cans across.
Try them out, man. Sounds good to me.
Tiki's in the tap room.
Yep, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of the Beer Guys Radio Show. Coming up next week, we're going to be talking to the people from Philly Loves Beer about Philly Beer Week. For more craft beer info, follow us online. We are Beer Guys Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week, and don't forget to drink local. Cheers. There we go.
Woo.
We did it.
It's done. We've accomplished
Looks
this.
like we made it. I don't think I want to take those off.
You got to keep those headphones on.
So keep them on now, man. Thanks, guys. That was a good conversation.
I didn't even get to talk about my terrible idea, Death by Malorts.
Oh, Death by Malort.
The
Death
barrel
by
aged
Malort.
Death by Malort. Come on, right?
Yeah, and see, we did miss out. Let me give you some of my bad ideas.
Tim
here
had a
because
few,
I
too.
wrote them
Yeah.
down. Where we go?
It's on
I
the
feel
last
like-
page, I think.
I feel like the show would be incomplete if I didn't share this gold here. So
Fish
here
sauce
we go.
framboise.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about the French's mustard beer,
Oh yeah.
and then Brian was going to ask if there was any other condiment themed beers.
I have a lot of.
You have a lot
No,
planned there.
no,
A lot of condiment.
I don't think so. I mean, this was a McCormick French's group, kind of like coloration.
That was that, huh?
But I was approached by one of our staff members at our production facility about doing a Takis inspired beer.
Okay, all right, there you go.
But WellWorks just put out a taco beer that they actually aged.
I did see that.
Like a kettle sour in hot sauce barrels.
Okay, see.
Fun. So never know. You never know. You never know. You never know what we're gonna do. I mean, I'm down with anything. It's just, that's the thing. It's like,
did y'all get your hands on some of the mustard beer? Did you guys?
We did.
Yeah.
So we have a friend. He goes by DigiDude Nate. That is the producer on a local morning radio show. He woke up the morning of the release and drove from Atlanta to your brewery in Brevard.
Nice.
Got the beer and turned around and came back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then he joined us in the studio and we cracked one open.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
I know you probably know this, Aaron. Duke's Mayo is really big in the South. So Mayo milkshake. Guys, Mayo milkshake.
I wish
for lactose. For the mouthfeel.
We've got a little bit of a smaller audience here now, right? So I can share some things but we
okay.
we actually mocked up, totally didn't share it in the public at all, but
okay,
around the mustard beer thing, we had our sales meeting, our national sales meeting, where and it was during the pandemic, so we were all virtual, and we've got like 200, I think 150 salespeople around the country that are all on a Zoom call,
right?
And me and Matt Lober, who's the brand director for Oskar Blues, we're presenting the year ahead for Oskar Blues, right? And we're going through we had like, I don't know, 50 slides or so where we're talking about the marketing plan for the year ahead. And we get to the innovation part and we're talking about new beers. And we actually mocked up a Duke's mayonnaise cream ale and had it on there just as a joke.
Yeah.
There, see?
But
mayonnaise.
Yep.
Yeah.
If anyone from Duke's is listening, I mean, our door is open. So
Holler, man. Holler. Yeah.
holler at us.
Oh,
That's good stuff, man. And then I got 2 more for you: fish sauce framboise and a miso marzen. So there you go, guys. You're welcome to run.
that
with
last
any of
one is
those.
just because they both started with M, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean,
All right.
that's Well, fish sauce framboise, miso marzen. It works out.
Death
It
by
works
Malort,
out.
barrel aged.
Fish sauce would be a hell of a challenge for Juice. I mean, the mustard
See?
thing, which you guys didn't say what you thought of the
Mustard's a pain in
mustard
the
beer
ass,
thing,
just
but
straight up.
You know what? I actually liked it. I was really surprised that
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty tasty beer.
I
That's
I
because
was
I thought-
shocked too. I
Right.
thought
It
it
ought
was
to come with
delicious.
pretzels.
Yeah,
It ought to
yeah.
come with pretzels.
I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be just ridiculous, and you'd be like, okay, that's a mustard beer, and I thought that would kind of be my reaction to it. So
I think
But
she's
no.
killed
Well,
it.
it's
drinkable.
it's cool that like that the base beer is a beer in itself. There was a summer wheat that we put out simultaneously that had the passion fruit, tangerine, key lime, and lemon purees. So it was tart, summery, citrusy, and if it didn't have that combined with the mustard, it wouldn't have found any balance. And we did a lot of benchtop trials to get to that point.
Yeah.
And it was like midsummer during a pandemic, and it was a fucking pain in the ass. It was
Good stuff,
mustard
man. Good stuff.
Mustard just pour mustard in water and see what it likes to do. It doesn't
Yeah.
cooperate. Neither would mayo. Neither does any of these things that have
Yeah.
oils or
The fats.
or, vinegar. Yeah, so they separate
Yeah.
themselves. So it's essentially making like a dressing, so it was hard for me to get that mustard flavor mixed in, but allow the coagulant materials to settle out and make sure that those didn't carry through the cans. And this is all done in the Lions small batch facility without any toys,
Well done.
Something I didn't know. One of my quarantine hobbies was fermentation, food fermentation. And so I did like a huge batch of mustard and then split into the smaller batches. But I didn't know you have to use cold water when you make mustard because warm water like kills the mustard flavor. It kind of denatures it or whatever it's called. So
weird. Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. So if you want a bold mustard flavor, they actually recommended like icing it down.
I need to try my hand at some mustard.
Yeah.
The mustard was added to a crashed beer, so it was added to a 32-degree finished product that was moved off the yeast, sitting in the secondary. So it was recirculated to get the mustard character into solution, but then it would settle out kind of like yeast does into the coat of the fermenter, and then you would just kind of dump that out and just rack the beer that was relatively bright, but still this is an unfiltered summer wheat base, so there's lots of proteins in there as well.
You need to release this process as a homebrew recipe so people can make mustard beer, because I think there are people out there that will do this.
I know. Taste the mustard cone.
There's a homebrew recipe out there.
It's out there.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that is somewhat close, I was told.
All right. Gotcha.
Don't it's challenging. It's challenging to take a 20 barrel batch and make it be 5 gallons. It just doesn't. Things don't scale.
Don't scale
the
right.
math isn't equal.
Yeah,
things
that's
don't scale
true.
properly.
Yeah,
and it's all based on people's, if they use extract or if they're using what their efficiency of the brew house is. And I don't know. I thought I got close, but it is what it is.
It was pretty good, man. Yeah,
it was solid. It was drinkable beer.
I have some in the fridge. I'm actually gonna go.
See that? I was gonna say, man. I think that take those seeds that flocked out and turn them into a mustard. You'd be good to go. Yeah.
Actually,
good stuff.
See, there's plenty of mustard beer. I mean, there's tons of information on that. But there's no information on beer mustard, but not mustard beer.
But mustard, right? So. Yeah, I did one of mine as a beer mustard. I did a beer. I did a horseradish.
Yeah.
I did a white wine. So it's good. And
they were good.
Quality mustards, man. Good stuff.
Those are awesome. Yeah. I love that. I love all those different types of varieties.
For sure.
I thought about I was going to use the seeds at first, but then Francis was like, no, you're using the mustard.
You actually use the mustard.
Yeah, okay, that's what he's saying. He put it.
I missed that. Okay.
He put it in and let it fly. Let it settle out after it circulated. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I totally missed that part, Juice. Yeah.
Like a cold temperature kind of dry hop. Through the top
dry
of the
mustard.
Like 6 pound jugs, 6 pounds per barrel.
Awesome, man.
There are some amazing marketing photos that weren't really accurate to how he was actually making the beer, but
I
have one, but I don't know how to screen share.
I know. I wish we could share that photo. It's Juice with like
it's illegal.
2 condiment bottles of yellow mustard, just like squirting it all in this like.
Oh yeah.
That's access to the tank. It's pretty.
Did you guys get into mustard fights, like dueling with mustard, like Super Soaker, except for mustard guns or something like that? Because that would be amazing.
I think that would be Juice was probably tired of mustard at the end of all that.
No more. He swore off mustard. Yes.
I just did another batch recently just for the McCormick French's group, because they're like, well, it's sold out. We didn't get any. Can you make another batch for us? And we canned it.
It's still being made.
And
see.
Can you make it for us? It's sold out here too.
We'll take 20 barrels. Take 20 barrels. Yeah. We're gonna need another beer fridge, Brian.
It would have been
a few beer fridges.
You guys are breaking up.
I'm going through a tunnel. So
weird. Yeah, I'm in the mountains in Colorado.
Right. Guys. Well, we appreciate it. We'll let you go. We don't want to hold you all night here, but he's got a little 1050
we got a 1050
over here. So
nice.
How about that?
We'll have to
little
get
nightcap
into that,
1050.
Aaron, I'll send you so the show will play on our radio station Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And then we'll actually, you know what? I'll give you guys a little closeout. Let us end the live broadcast and we'll wrap up. Everyone, thank you for tuning in online. Beer Guys Radio.
Cool.
Tell a friend, threaten an enemy. Spread the word out there. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Cheers.